Hi, Sergey here. In this tutorial we're gonna create this cloth simulation with folds and drapery in Blender. So let's take a look and figure out how to achieve these results. So I open up my project files. Okay, and we got here some standalone objects like pillows, like this, and sofa, standalone objects. Okay, so first of all we need to create our ground. I hit Shift A on keyboard and select from mesh just plane, select move tool, and need to make correct position for this. Scale it up like this, for example. Hit Shift A and make another plane and move it up above our pillows and sofa, sounds like this. And next I hit Z on my keyboard and select wireframe viewport display mode. So we need to make additional subdivisions to make our whole cloth much better and much realistic. I hit Tab on my keyboard, hit Ctrl R, and just scrolling my mouse button to make additional subdivisions like this. So should be not so many and not so little, so should be something like this. I hit Z and switch to material preview, for example, viewport display mode. And next I need to make cross section additional subdivisions on the whole cloth object. Ctrl R again, scroll mouse button, sounds like this, and hit left mouse button. So we have these subdivisions on our plane object. Okay, and then our class objects selected. Then we need go to physics properties right here and this right side. Okay, then we need to choose class right here to define for Blender that this is class objects that need to be simulated. Then we scroll down right here and select collision rollout, rolling out this, and check on self collisions. Then we need friction increase to increase our friction up to 10, for example, to make our self contact much higher. Okay, then let's take a look at our pillows, for example. If we define just one object, for example this group of pillows like collision objects, then our objects that we doesn't define, then they shouldn't be involved in the whole simulation. So let's check it out. For example, I just select this object of pillows, then I go here again to the physics properties and define this collision. Then if I hit spacebar on my keyboard, so what we got here? So only two objects now involved in the whole simulation process. This is just to these pillows and this object, which is cloth simulation, and other objects like sofa and another pillows haven't been involved in the whole simulation process. So let's fix that. I'll go to material preview like this, hit Ctrl Z, for example. Okay, so recheck our parameters, and then we need to join our object. First of all, we need to select holding shift button on my keyboard, select these objects to make them like one standalone objects, and then hit Ctrl J to join them as one object. So now these objects, pillows and sofas, as one object. Okay, and then we need in physics properties to define them as collision. Okay, then just hit on collision. Okay, so now this should be good fit. And then hit my spacebar on keyboard. Now we can look at our simulation process, rotating cameras. Okay. And when our simulation process will be like desired shape, we can just hit another time our spacebar to stop simulation process. So we can see here it's sliding a bit along the sofa. Okay. Should be good fit for now. Okay, but I'm again undo my simulation process by Ctrl Z, and let's add ground as collision objects as well. So we have ground and sofa as two standalone objects as collisions. Okay. Recheck our parameters. And then hit spacebar again. And let's take a look how the whole process is working. Now it's much better. And our ground plane as well have been involved in the whole simulation process. It's sliding again. For example, something like this. I just hit spacebar again. So now we need click in object mode, right mouse button, and select shade smooth to make it much smoother and lightning. Then we need go to modify properties and apply this cloth modifier to our cloth object. Hit on this arrow and hit apply like this, and then let's make much more details and more subdivisions along the whole cloth object. I'll add subdivision surface and make this, for example, 2 subdivision up to make it much smoother and more detailed, for example. Something like this. Okay, and then subdivision surface apply as well. Then we need go to sculpting. Okay. And now we can sculpt a bit our cloth object like this. For example, we can select elastic deform brush and a bit make it with more details. Increase our brush size radius by pressing right mouse button in viewport, and maybe slightly make some fixes and adjustments like this. Okay, so now this should be good fit like this. I can sculpt and move the whole shape like this, and then we just can use cloth brush, for example, make it not so big, and decrease a bit strength, for example, and make some additional nice looking folds on our whole cloth surface like this. Okay, I'm just clicking left mouse button along the whole surface and adding some additional folds. like this. Okay, so now that's looking pretty good. Then we go to layout. Okay, switch to material preview, go to shading, and let's make material, for example, for this class. I add image texture. Okay, open here our texture, for example like this, and link color to base color of shader. So now this is looking not so good and we need to scale up a bit. For example, let's go here and add mapping node, then link vector from our image to vector of mapping, and then let's find here texture coordinates and link generated parameter on our vector, for example like here. Then in our image texture node, let's change projection type to box to allow texture project from different faces and like cubic projection. Okay, and then we just increase our scale, for example like this, maybe 3 or maybe 2.4 for example, or maybe just 0.1. Okay, and maybe by 1 just squeeze it up a bit. Okay, so what we got here, or maybe to look at that in rendered mode. Okay, so actually it's pretty simple to create our clothes objects, draperies, some additional folds and another stuff. So hope you like guys and enjoy this video. Subscribe my channel. So see you next time.